What is going on, you guys? It is Ericka Bernie finally coming back with another video. So today's main topic of the video is about the Army pink and green. You guys recently just found out around Veterans Day, I think it was actually on Veterans Day, that the word came out that it is going to be mandatory for military service members in the Army to eventually switch to the Army pink and greens, which they are actually just called the greens. Within saying that, in my opinion, about the whole changing the uniforms or how they look in general, I personally like it. I like the look, even though it was from the old times and all that stuff. I actually really like the look of it. Not saying that the ASUs that we have now, the blues and all that stuff, not saying that they're bad, but I don't necessarily like the look of it. I don't necessarily think it's much of a military look, but maybe that's just in my head. Sometimes I always think that it might look like an airline or airline captain user type of thing. Not saying that's bad, but I feel like greens are gonna look so much better for military service members. I just really, my opinion, I like it. Some people don't like it, but again, that's their opinion. The only thing I don't like about the greens, and this is what I'm hearing, is that the greens are going to be a daily wear thing. I didn't know that until I did a little bit more research and I saw some of my friends making YouTube videos about it and all that stuff, and I realized it is going to be a mandatory daily thing, meaning that if you're in the office, which is a lot of the people, if you're not in the military and all that stuff, for the most part, sometimes you're in the office, sometimes depending on what job you do, you might be at the motor pool, so on and so forth, but a lot of different jobs, you are constantly in the office, meaning during the times you're in the office, you're going to be wearing the greens. And the only reason why I don't like that, one, me being a drill sergeant, if for the most part I'm probably gonna still wear my ACUs, which is the OCP pattern uniform that we usually constantly use and that you guys usually see us in. For the most part, I feel like that's what they're gonna do for drill sergeants in the training environment. They're gonna keep us wearing our ACUs, but if they don't, it's going to be kind of difficult, especially if I'm actually in a force comm unit and all that stuff, meaning a regular unit. Wearing it daily, I don't think it's such a great idea. I like the fact that whenever we wear our dress uniforms, it's usually for the fact of it being an important event or any type of event that's about to happen, all that stuff, not just wearing it just cuz. The way I carry my uniform, I always make sure it's squared away, but some people aren't like that. So wearing the greens daily, I feel like some people won't care too much about it because it's going to be a daily wear, and it's kind of like they always have to make sure it's squared away, which is not a bad thing, but it's just, I feel like eventually there's going to be a day when someone's lazy and they're just going to put it on and it's just going to look like crap, which I don't like the dress uniforms to be. I want the dress uniforms to always look spectacular, because whenever you ask any other service member that, you know, they're about to go to the ball or a graduation or a wedding or anything like that, we take our time in fixing our uniform. We take our time in making sure we look the best, especially when we're wearing our blues. And as a female, it takes hours. I'm saying it takes hours to fix your ribbons on your jacket. So small little thing that might fall off and you have to fix it, and sometimes it means you have to rearrange every single thing on your uniform. But that's my opinion of it. I like the greens, but I don't like the fact that we're hearing that it's going to be a daily wear, because I feel like it's gonna take away the I guess it being special. But again, change happens. We listen, we follow, and eventually if it doesn't work out the way we want it to work out, then eventually they're gonna put out a policy, a regulation, all stuff of it changing. But again, that's just word. It's not in the regs yet. Nothing's really fully come out. The only thing that has come out is that in 2020 they're gonna start giving it out they're gonna start issuing it out. That means it's eventually going to go through in basic training when they actually issue out the stuff, because when you go to basic training, that's when they issue out your ASUs and all that stuff, all your uniforms. So they're probably going to push it out in 2020, but in 2028 is when it's mandatory for everyone to wear it. So it's pretty much 10 years. So eventually over time, it is expensive uniform to buy. Any uniform is pretty much expensive to buy. Buying your ACUs pretty much is $100 only for your top and bottoms, and not including your t-shirts, your socks, your boots, especially if you want really good boots and all that stuff, your PC, sewing on all your stuff. It's a lot of money, but again, what I learned as an NCO is that you're always going to put money into the stuff you wear, the stuff you have around you, especially if you want to make sure that you look good at all times. But that means since it's going to be like 10 years eventually, my advice is that once it starts getting issued out around 2020, is that you slowly start buying the gear that you're going to need whenever it's actually fully mandatory, instead of trying to buy it all at once whenever it's mandatory. It's kind of like how it was when we were talking about the ACU uniform, how it used to be the digital pattern and then now it changed to OCP. It's like the faster you are to change and adapt to the new uniform, it's kind of showing you that you're kind of more squared away. Not saying that it's bad that if you have the old uniforms and all that stuff, but whenever we see someone, whenever we look at someone, if they're still wearing the old uniform, we kind of think, do you really not care of how you look? And you don't want to spend money just to be, you know, just to get with the times, or it's just kind of something that people look at. But that's pretty much it. My advice, eventually just start slowly buying all the gear. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is just my opinion. What is your opinion about the pink and greens? Write it down on the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Give it a thumbs up. Peace.